Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Beer Reviews. Today we are going to be hitting it up Italian style. I've got a beer from Birra Amacord, an Italian brewery, and this is their Ama range of beer, which they've done in collaboration with Garrett Oliver, I want to say, from Brooklyn Brewery. This in particular is the Doppio Malto beer that we've got going here. Birra Amacord, one of the only Italian craft breweries I know of, apart from another little place called Brewfist as well. I've never tried Italian craft ale before, so I'm really interested in giving this one a shot. Everyone's tried Peroni or Birra Moretti, I think is the other one. The typical lager's kind of made out there, but I've never given a shot to the craft ales before, so this will be a completely new scene for me. Interestingly, like I said, this one's brewed with Garrett Oliver from the Brooklyn Brewery, and look at the bottle design. Again, they collaborate with someone else. It was the guy who did the I Love New York t-shirt. The same designer designed this bottle, and again, it's an absolutely gorgeous bottle. It's a kind of half wine glass one. I think I've seen it once before. Meantime Brewery's chocolate porter, chocolate stout, it was the same. Looks like the kind of wine bottle that's been cut off. Love that, absolutely love it. It says on the back, it tells you what it's got in it. It is 20 IBU, so it's not particularly bitter. They use Pilsner and chocolate malts, and Saaz and Pearl hops, and they use brown sugar to secondary ferment in the bottle as well. So it all sounds like a fantastic recipe, really. Pilsner and Saaz are used quite frequently in lagers. Quite famously, they use them in Stella Artois, so you can see sometimes how even using good ingredients can't particularly bring good results. So without further ado, let's pop the top on this fella. I haven't got rid of the little strapping, but it doesn't matter. I'm probably not going to be able to get it. There we go. Not much in the way of smoke, but I did fudge that one up, and then pour it out into a good glass. Oh, it's quite thick in consistency. It's really glugging away, that. There we go, that's better. How interesting. So there we go. Wasn't particularly vigorous with the pour there, because it has got a weirdly thick consistency. It really was glugging out the glass there. Lovely and dark. There is a bit of light coming through. Hope if I hold the stem a bit further down, there's quite a bit of light coming through, so it's not completely pitch black. The head dissipated really fast, really quickly. Barely any going on at all, and I can see even on the top as I'm talking, it's still kind of bubbling away. Having said that, can you see it's quite sticking to the sides quite a bit? It might lace quite well. And there's a ton of carbonation, really small, really fine bubbles, popping away all the way on the inside. As for smells, yeah, you can definitely smell chocolate in that. Dark double malty smells, caramel as well, kind of the burnt sugary smells, and a nice pleasant little bit of hop as well. Let's try and place it. Quite flowery, I'd say, actually. Quite a flowery hop smell, but predominantly it's the dark malt smells that come through. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack in it and get on with it. Ooh, that's quite nice, actually. The carbonation, that's what made me go, ooh, it's quite astringent. The bubbles are really quite vigorous and aggressive, I guess, on the palate, but not in a particularly bad way. It's not like sandpaper or anything. It's quite nice. It's like almost like drinking a fizzy drink a little bit too fast. That kind of sensation. And the mouthfeel along with it is I'd call it quite thick and chunky. It's not barley wine chunky, but it's definitely got a really quite thick presence, and that carbonation then kind of sticks to your tongue because it's got such a thick presence. In terms of flavour, the predominant ones are definitely malty body right at the beginning, really whacked with a chocolate malt flavour. And interestingly, I can taste quite a lot of alcoholic presence. I've done it again, and I keep forgetting to mention it. This is 7.5%. Yeah, 7.5% alcohol. Interestingly, there's a lot of alcoholic presence coming through the nose, which kind of adds into all this kind of the aggressive qualities that I'm finding in this beer. Considering the art style and the elegance of the bottle, it's quite a full-on and punchy beer. Very malty, but strangely astringent and aggressive in that respect. It's not particularly bitter. There's a very pleasant and lingering, very low level bitterness. It's really pleasant and complements kind of the deep malt body. But all in all, the main flavours in it are certainly the malts. But I think it's maybe hampered a bit by how aggressive the beer does feel. The predominant, it's not flavour, it's more the predominant feel of the beer is this carbonation, this fizzy drink, soft drink carbonation that kind of strips the flavour away. I seem to take a drink and experience so much fizzing and thick bodiness that it almost seems to strip the flavour away a bit. But when the flavour does come through, it's very pleasant. It's very nice, malty body. I guess maybe it's because it's got the Pilsner malt in as well. Perhaps that's some of the flavour I'm getting through as well. It's not as heavy as a stout would be, and it has got a bit of nice lightness to it. I want to say caramelly. I want to say quite caramelly flavour, and then that kind of develops into a chocolate flavour, a deeper chocolate body, and then there is a nice little bit of floral hop at the end, but it's very much supplemental to a main malty body. It's kind of hard because I would have to say I do quite like this beer, but in terms of technical aspect and kind of how they've managed to pull off the beer, I like the fact it's aggressive, but I don't see it. It always seems a bit haphazardly. It needs a bit more. How to say that because that aggressive carbonation and thick body seems to take away the flavour. It just needs to be rebalanced. It doesn't seem technically to be as balanced as I'd like a beer to be. So all in all, I think I'd probably have to give it something like a 6.5. It seems like with a little bit of tweaking, maybe it would be a lot better. I've seen examples of different levels of carbonation, like the champagne yeast in the wild beer companies in Cassie is a great example of how it can really, tremendously add a lot of depth to a beer. And in this case, I can see where the carbonation level is going towards. But in my particular drink, in this particular bottle, the carbonation is too aggressive and it's stripping away layers of flavour that I know are there, that in the initial flavours of malt I just seem to be missing, and I seem to get like the aftertaste of it. So 6.5, maybe I have to try another bottle. I'll definitely try other things by them. It's intriguing, and I like the history, and I like the fact that the Brooklyn Brewery guy is helping out with this, and that the I Love New York t-shirt designers designed the bottle. It's all kind of adds to the experience, and it's certainly not a hugely bad beer, but it just seems to be lacking a little bit for me. So if you like the video, favourite and subscribe, all of the above, share it around, share Bear's love, and I shall catch you again on the next Bear Beer review. Cheers.